Giảm 5 đến 10 cân mà không cần ăn kiêng khổ sở, không cần tập luyện vất vả, giảm cân nhưng mà vẫn khỏe mạnh, da dẻ hồng hào thì nhất định là phải xem hết buổi livestream ngày hôm nay của em nhé. Một giải pháp giảm cân hiệu quả, an toàn và khoa học. Giải pháp này thì đã giúp chính bản thân em và rất nhiều người đã giảm cân thành công và giữ được vóc dáng đúng như mong ước rồi. Dạ rồi, chào Thu Hương nhá. Em đã thử nhiều loại rồi mà không giảm được, nản quá chị ơi. Thế à Hương? Mai Quỳnh Nguyễn chị muốn giảm 5 cân nhưng mà sợ uống xong lại tăng lại. Tiếp đến bên dưới comment của Tố Uyên luôn chị có cơ địa khó giảm, giảm hoài mà không có xuống. Cái tình trạng này thì đúng là thật như vậy đó. Và nó cũng là cái tình trạng chung mà em thấy là rất nhiều người gặp phải. Nhưng mà kể cả nhá, mọi người có bị tăng cân trước đó hay là chúng ta béo nhiều năm này, béo bền vững, đã thử nhiều cách rồi mà không cải thiện thì em Trang vẫn có thể giúp mọi người được nhá. Và bây giờ không để mọi người chờ đợi lâu hơn nữa thì xin được giới thiệu tới tất cả nhà mình luôn. Đó là sản phẩm Nanufit, cứu tinh cho các chị em chúng ta cần giảm cân và giảm mỡ đấy ạ. Và cái ưu điểm của em Nanufit này thì rất là nhiều. Đầu tiên phải kể đến này, nó rất là ít calo, giàu protein, giúp chúng ta no lâu và giảm cảm giác thèm ăn nhá. Bên cạnh đó hỗ trợ đốt mỡ này, ngăn chặn hấp thu chất béo vào cơ thể. Nó không gây ra cái tình trạng là bị mất nước giống như những cái loại thuốc giảm cân khác mọi người nhá. Lưu ý cái phần đấy cho Trang. Bên cạnh đấy này, duy trì cơ bắp không bị chảy xệ, da dẻ vẫn cứ là săn chắc. Về cái hiệu quả thì nó vô cùng tuyệt vời. Cụ thể ở đây sau có 2 tuần thôi, chúng ta sẽ giảm ngay cho em là 5 kg rồi mà không cần phải kiêng khem khổ sở quá nhiều. Tiếp tục sang đến tuần thứ 4 mọi người đã giảm trực tiếp đó là 8 kg nhá. Sang đến tuần thứ 6 mọi người sẽ giảm đó là 10 kg. Và sau 8 tuần các chị em sẽ giảm từ 15 cho đến 20 kg cho em Trang. Và đặc biệt này, nó không tăng cân trở lại, không gây tình trạng mất nước và không gây mệt mỏi cho chị em mình đâu nha. Với cái cơ chế hoạt động đó là 3 trong 1, nó sẽ giúp giảm cân an toàn hiệu quả. Đầu tiên này, giảm mỡ không giảm nước. Thì Nanufit chứa DNF10 chiết xuất từ nấm men Hàn Quốc, giúp giảm cảm giác thèm ăn và kích thích cơ thể đốt mỡ tự nhiên. Điều thứ hai đó là duy trì cơ bắp và da săn chắc. Thì nhờ vào đạm thực vật cao cấp cộng với lại vitamin và khoáng chất sẽ giúp cơ thể chúng ta đủ dinh dưỡng mà không mất cơ khi giảm cân. Và thứ ba, hỗ trợ đốt mỡ tự nhiên. Chứa EGCG từ trà xanh, tảo biển cà phê xanh sẽ giúp đốt cháy mỡ bụng, đùi, bắp tay và giúp vòng eo của chị em mình trở nên săn chắc, thon gọn hơn. Đặc biệt Nanufit ứng dụng công nghệ phân giải dược chất thành các phân tử siêu nhỏ ở dạng nano sẽ giúp dưỡng chất thẩm thấu một cách nhanh chóng vào cơ thể và đạt được hiệu quả cao nhất. Và không chỉ là hiệu quả trong việc hỗ trợ giảm mỡ máu, kiểm soát cân nặng và cải thiện sức khỏe thôi đâu. Nanufit còn đạt đầy đủ chứng nhận chất lượng từ các tổ chức uy tín như chứng nhận FDA Hoa Kỳ, đáp ứng tiêu chuẩn an toàn thực phẩm quốc tế, tiêu chuẩn HACCP, quy trình sản xuất nghiêm ngặt, đảm bảo vệ sinh và an toàn thực phẩm, hay là chứng nhận ISO 9001, hệ thống quản lý chất lượng đạt chuẩn toàn cầu, được Bộ Y tế cấp phép lưu hành và cam kết an toàn tuyệt đối cho người sử dụng, an toàn cho mọi đối tượng, kể cả là trẻ em từ 3 tuổi mọi người nhé. Và đặc biệt rất phù hợp cho người lớn này, người cao tuổi, người béo phì, người có mỡ máu cao hoặc là người đang bị tiểu đường. Và bên cạnh đó thì Nanufit còn được Thạc sĩ bác sĩ Lê Thị Hải, nguyên giám đốc Trung tâm Khám và Tư vấn Dinh dưỡng, Viện Dinh dưỡng Quốc gia đánh giá rất cao nhờ vào cơ chế tác động kép. Đó là vừa bổ sung dinh dưỡng đầy đủ, vừa hỗ trợ giảm cân một cách an toàn khoa học. Bác sĩ Hải thì đã có chia sẻ rằng là đây là một giải pháp tiên tiến giúp chúng ta kiểm soát cân nặng hiệu quả mà không gây ra tình trạng mệt mỏi hay là ảnh hưởng tới sức khỏe. Nanufit không chỉ giúp giảm cân thôi đâu mà còn cung cấp nguồn dinh dưỡng thiết yếu cho cơ thể, phù hợp cả với những người chúng ta bận rộn và ít có thời gian vận động nhá. Và cái sản phẩm này không chứa đường, cho nên kể cả những người chúng ta bị tiểu đường hay là bị huyết áp cao là cũng có thể yên tâm sử dụng được nhá. Quá tuyệt vời đúng không mọi người? Và đặc biệt duy nhất tại phiên livestream ngày hôm nay của em Trang lại đang có chương trình ưu đãi cực sốc khi chúng ta mua càng nhiều thì giá càng yêu, dành tặng cho những chị em nào hay là anh cũng được nha. Chúng ta nhanh tay để lại comment cho em Trang. Ngày hôm nay cứ mua 2 hộp là em giảm trực tiếp cho mình 50.000 đồng rồi. Mua 3 hộp là em tặng ngay 1 hộp. Mua 5 hộp em Trang tặng ngay 2 hộp cho mình. Và ngoài ra ưu đãi cực sốc chỉ cần mua cho em Trang 2 hộp Nanufit trở lên thôi, anh chị sẽ được tặng thêm một bình lắc xinh xắn như thế này nữa mọi người ha.
Lúc đầu thì cũng hoài nghi lắm vì trên thị trường có quá nhiều sản phẩm giảm cân. Nhưng khi thấy chuyên gia và nhiều mẹ bỉm khác review nên là mình quyết định thử. Chỉ với 1 ly Nanufit mỗi sáng thì mình thấy rõ sự thay đổi từng ngày. Cảm giác thèm ăn vặt biến mất này, cơ thể tràn đầy năng lượng hơn, không còn uể oải như trước. Đặc biệt là thành phần hoàn toàn từ thiên nhiên, từ các loại hạt cao cấp như là yến mạch này, óc chó, hạnh nhân, maca, sa chi, rất an toàn cho mẹ sau sinh hoặc là đang cho con bú. Một gói nhỏ 25g giàu protein, vitamin nhưng lại chưa tới 100 calo nên là giúp mình kiểm soát được lượng calo nạp vào. Thích nhất là được ăn uống thoải mái cùng gia đình mà cân nặng vẫn giảm đều. Mình thấy rằng cơ chế giảm cân của Nanufit rất hiệu quả và khác biệt. Sản phẩm này giúp giảm mỡ, không giảm nước. Sau 3 tuần sử dụng thì mình giảm tới 6kg, vòng bụng giảm được gần 10cm. Quần áo cũ đã mặc lại vừa, người nhẹ nhõm hơn, tinh thần cũng vui vẻ thoải mái hơn rất là nhiều. Không cần phải tập luyện khắc nghiệt, không cần phải kiêng khem cực khổ mà vẫn có thể lấy lại được vóc dáng. Giờ đây thì mình tự tin hơn rất là nhiều, không còn tự ti khi đi ra ngoài, cũng không còn cảm giác mặc cảm về cơ thể của mình nữa.
Mình thì cũng đã từng loay hoay với rất là nhiều phương pháp rồi, nhưng mà từ khi mình uống Nanufit nha thì mọi thứ đã thay đổi hoàn toàn. Mình không cần phải nhịn ăn, không mệt mỏi, cơ thể khỏe khoắn mà mỡ bụng này, mỡ nội tạng đã giảm hẳn nha. Và đặc biệt là da dẻ của mình này lúc nào cũng hồng hào, tình trạng táo bón cũng hết. Mùi thơm tự nhiên, uống rất ngon. Mỗi sáng mình chỉ cần uống 1 ly Nanufit thôi là no lâu, cũng không thèm ăn vặt, cân nặng thì giảm đều mà tràn đầy sức sống luôn nhá. Chỉ sau một thời gian sử dụng thì vòng bụng của mình đã giảm rõ rệt rồi, cơ thể của mình cảm giác là rất là săn chắc này. Kể cả khi mà mình ngừng sử dụng thì cũng không có bị tăng cân trở lại. Và có lẽ đây là một cái điều mình thích nhất ở sản phẩm này. Mình đã thử và thành công rồi, còn các bạn thì sao nhỉ? Đừng giảm cân sai cách nữa, hãy để Nanufit giúp bạn giảm cân khoa học, khỏe mạnh và bền vững nhá.
Now that you've seen the overall direction of the movement, I'll be taking 2 points that you should consider when doing this kata. The first important point is to use your hips wisely. So from here, don't just drop down. You want that momentum to be on your arm, so shift your hip to the side and then snap it back. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. And perform this fast and go. So that's the first one. The second tip is the gyakugoshi, or the reverse hip movement. From the shitoge, where you go to the front, you perform this block. And your hip shouldn't be just straight, it's reversed. To have this position, the key point is your hikite. So pull back your hikite as much as you can to twist your body like this, so that you can prepare for the next kick. So the first bunkai is the first arm sequence. So the opponent attacks, you block it with this arm, and as he attacks, you step in a bit forward as you evade the punch with this arm and you attack with the bottom, and then you attack his neck. That's the first one. The second one is where the kiai is. So from here, you snap his attack down with this motion and aim for his throat to attack. So those two are the applications of Heian Nidan. So now we'll be doing a detailed explanation of each technique. The first one is 계단바라이, which means lower block. The first movement of 해양 shodan, you do a lower block to the left. What you have to think about is first, your arm movement. Make sure your hand squeezes close to your body and lock. Make sure your arm doesn't go around or up, that it takes the shortest route to close. Ba. So that's the first point you should consider. Ba. Second point, you turn your hips to the side first and then you snap back. The ending position of your 계단바라이 should be facing sideways and not to the front. So when you do a lower block to the left, 계단바라이, if I exaggerate the movement, it's 1, hips this way, and 2. 1, 2. And make that 1 count and go bang, bang, bang. Front side. Bang, bang. Yeah, that's how you do the lower block. So the second technique is oizuki. Oi means to follow, tsuki means to punch. So it's the second movement of heian shodan. After your lower block, you have a oizuki. You're following the opponent with a punch. 2 points to consider. Number 1, you have to have your pelvis facing straight when you finish punching. So from here, you don't want your body to be facing sideways. You want your belly button to be faced forward. In order to do that, from here, first, your leg moves, and as your back leg passes the front leg, your belly button is gonna face the left side. However, you snap this back to the front to punch. So if I do it slowly, it's like this. That's how you create that last snap. To move your head. hips sharper, use the back knee. So from here, the leg passes your front leg, and use this bent knee and straighten it to turn your hips. This motion. So from here, after the low block, 계단 바라이, your hips face a little to the side and snap back in place. Like this. Point 2, keep your hikite until the very end. Hikite means a pullback hand. So keep the position of your hand right here and release at the very end. So from here, keep it here, and at the end release. Don't release your arm here, because otherwise you're gonna end up in a really short and slow punch. So keep this till the end and release at the very last moment. So next technique is age-uke. Age means up and uke means to block. So this is basically upper block. So this is the motion you see. You have 3 of these in Heian Shodan. The point you should consider is, first, cross your arm in front of your chest. So from your 계단 바라이, first you put your hand up and you block. Make sure your wrist crosses in front of your face and you block up. And also watch my elbows. My elbows they don't open like this. They close. Close, and then you block up. So from here, don't let your arms go wide. Have them close to the center and block. Point 2, before you block, make sure you open your arm. Basically, someone's punching you and you're grabbing their hand and pulling it towards your body, and you're breaking his wrist like this. So someone punches you, grab, and then you're breaking it. So make sure before you do the actual block, you open your hand and block. Open and then block. Point 3, always block with your wrist. You can practice that by having one partner punch to your face and you going down to block. Make sure you contact their wrist with your wrist. So those are the 3 points for age-uke. So the next technique is shito-uke. Shito means a knife hand and uke means to block. Make sure your shito-uke first should be formed like this in this picture and not like this. So your fingers are tucked in so that it doesn't get in the way of the punch. Point 2, just like you did in the 계단 바라이, make sure before the shito-uke, you close your arms like this. So your elbows are touching each other and you're blocking. So from here, let's say your left hand is up, make sure this is tucked together and you block. Point 3, snap your hips sideways at the end. So from here, even if I do it in the same spot, first my hips are facing a little to the front and you snap it to the side like this. If I do it in oizuki situation, from here, face your hips to the front first and snap sideways. Front, sideways. Front, sideways. Front, sideways. Make sure you're able to use this snap. When you move forward in karate, just one simple rule that you have to remember. Always bend your front knee. From here, make sure you bend this even more to push yourself forward. If you don't use the bent knee, then you have to rely on the back leg like this. like that. But you don't want to kick the ground. So make sure bend this leg to push yourself forward. So the main engine is your front knee. When you turn in Shotokan, don't lift your heels up. Let's say from the 5th, so after the Gedanbare, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go to the front, focus on my back leg. From here, make sure this doesn't pop up, that it stays here, and you rotate on the heel. The reason is you want your body to be moving forward. So I'll show you an example of turning on my toes and my heels. So from here, I'll be going this way. See where my body ends up. First example is on my toes. From here. So my head is right here. I guess it's on the line. So now, from the same position, I'll turn on my heels. See, my head is over the line, right? So in Shotokan, please turn on your heels. To do that, when you get your body this way, make sure you're bending this leg. Bend this. And put your weight on the back leg to turn. When you finish your kata, make sure you remember the concept of zanshin. Zan means to remain or to keep still, and shin means the heart. So the last movement of Heian Shodan is ba. Here. Ba. After the last technique, don't just end like this. Do the technique, keep your eyes on the target, and slowly move back in place and set your sight to the front. So now it's the fast version. So that you don't forget, let's review the kata one last time. First, bow to the front, cross your arm, say the kata name, block to the left, use your hips here, hit him, and then tetsuyuchi to the chin. One more time to the opposite side. Get your legs together and keage, shitoge. One more time, one last time, and then a nukite to the throat. This is an attack. Turn around, shitoke. Make sure the weight is on the back leg. From here, shitoke 45 degrees to the front. Turn all the way back to the side, shitoke, shitoke 45 degrees. And then a gyakugoshi uchiuke. Make sure your upper body stays the same. Kick, punch, turn, and block. One more time, kick, punch, and then a moroteuke, which is a double block. Turn around, gedan barai, and then 45 degrees to the front, ageuke. Make sure your hikite stills until the very end. Gedan barai, and then a kiai with the ageuke. Make sure you go back slowly, and then at the end, bow.
해야 사전! Die!
Now I'll share your 6 tips that you must know to perfect your heian sandan. So the first tip is the hikite. So from the very first stance, you do a block to the left. And to make this strong, you have to pull back really strong with the other hand. If you see from the front, if your elbow is out like this, then make sure this ends right here. So from the hand here, pull back straight, okay? Don't do this. Pull back straight and bam. So slide it alongside your body. So the next point is this, after the first block. So let me show you the hand gestures first. So from here, first, your left hand goes inside. So from here, like this. So my left is right between my right hand and my left hand. From here, slide and block. And let's pay attention to the wrist rotation. So from here, both of your thumb is faced to your body, right? And from here, this is gonna have this rotation. So from here, it's ba, ba. As for the right hand, this is gonna turn like this, just like knocking a door. So the power is going this way, like this. So connect this and block. So to make this strong, wrist rotation. And the second point is how you have to overlap your elbows. So from here, if these are open like this, then your power is going to go too far to the right and the left. So what you want to do is you want the power to go forward and sideways at the same time. So make sure your elbows cross and you rotate. This will make the spinning circle really small right in the center of your body, so you'll be able to have a strong block. So that goes the same when you turn and do it the other way too. So the next tip is the nukite, or the spear hand. So from here, you block the attack down and you attack like this. I want to talk about the timing of when you release your right hand. So from here, make sure you release it at the last moment. Down, and then you release. I see some people doing this. Like that. See how the release was a bit earlier? You want all your power to explode at the very end. This goes the same with tsuki, punches, kicks, or anything that you do in karate. So from here, make sure you block and then have a small pause. So from here, ba, and then you release. Next, I'll be talking about this spinning motion. There are 2 tips for this. First, you have to turn your head first, meaning from here, if your body goes and then your head moves, it's going to be very hard for you to turn. So make sure you see where you're going first. So from here, your head goes first and then your leg goes. So if I do it fast, like this. The second tip is your hand motion of the front hand. So from here, this goes like this. So someone grabs you. We're going to cover this in detail in the bunkai section. But someone grabs you and you're getting their hand away. So you need this turn. So don't just do this. Make sure you're turning and getting their hand away from your wrist. So connect those two, this and the turning head first, and apply it in akibadachi. Next, I'll be talking about this block. This one. This, what you're doing is you're blocking their attack with your elbow. So like this. And to generate a lot of power onto this elbow, you must turn at the last moment. So from here, your hip is facing forward first. As you get your leg up, this still faces forward. And after a small shift of your body weight to the front, then you twist. So don't start twisting when you start moving, meaning don't do this. That way, there's no distinct end to your technique. So make sure you shift forward a little bit and then you turn. From here, forward, and then turn. So that's how you generate that last snap. This goes the same for the other 2 after it. So from here, you face forward, and then keep your hips facing forward, and then turn at the last moment. Next, I'll be talking about this oizuki. This one. So I think it's very hard because you have to move from a horse stance or kibadachi to front stance or zenkusudachi. The transition here, to make it smooth, let's focus on this leg. So make sure you turn this forward. So right now my body weight is right here in the center, but if I move this, it shifts to the right, which gives me the initial boost to move to a front stance. So from here, release this, move your body to the right, and connect it to a punch. If you don't do it, your right leg is going to be stuck here. So from here, if you don't release this, there's no way your body's going to smoothly move forward. So make sure you pay attention to that. Now to the last attack of this. There are 2 attacks, punch and this elbow. But let's pay attention to the leg movement. From here, so my left leg is here right now. Your right leg moves along this line, so horizontally. From here, don't step too far. Make sure you step this here alongside the left leg, and you turn like this. So from here on the same line, pa. So make sure this doesn't go too back or too far to the front, and apply the attack. Like this. All right, so the first bunkai is from here to this. Let me show you how you can apply it. So from here, someone attacks you, you block, and then since this was a block, but in the bunkai, maybe you can do this. So attacking with your fist. This is called a uraken uchi. So let's do it once. Like this. So the idea here is from here, since this became an attack, you want to utilize your hips. So from here, make sure you get the power onto your hikite here and release at the very end. Turn your hip and attack. Maybe you can, you don't have to do this. Maybe you can step a bit forward. So one last time. So the next bunkai is this spin. I think this is kind of confusing, right? So let me show you how you can apply it. So let's say you do a nukite, but he backs up and he grabs your wrist like this. So what you're doing is you're turning this first like this. So that's why you need this turn, not like this. So you turn, spin, and then you hit him right here. So let me do it quickly. Now on to the detailed tips to perfect your kata. The first point is this slow movement. This seems easy, but the slower the movement, the harder it gets. You want to show in this part that you're able to use your whole body onto the one kime. So this is a bad example. You can't see any ending to this motion. Rather, start slowly and rotate your hip, your knees, bend a little bit more, and your hand comes in place. And you saw that slow kime, right? I was able to finish movement like that. The other side too. So don't just move your arms slowly, move your whole body slowly. The second point is making this MP really strong. So in order to do this, you have to flick back your kick first. So from here, make sure you flick back your kick all the way to here so that you can shift your body weight forward. If your kick is out here and you don't pull back, you just drop down. But you want your MP to go this way, right? So don't just drop down. Make sure you pull back and then you push your weight forward. And also, when you finish the kick and do the MP, bend this part down like this. If this becomes straight, then your power is going to go up. But since you want it to go to the side, make sure you bend here at the very end and then bend. The third point is this block to an attack combination. So from here you go this one. In order to make this strong, you must generate the power from the lower body to this attack. So what you're doing is you're hitting their neck like this. So make sure when you do the MP, your front knee is bent, okay? And from here, turn your toes this way with the heel on the ground. And turn this first. Extend your knee forward. The hip turns and the power gets to your hand. So one more time. Toes, knees extend, and then to the arm. And connect it in a single motion and go like this. And make sure this is bent as well. If this is not bent, the motion is going to go up. So make sure your head level stays the same by bending this one. Like this. The next point is the position of your feet when you do the kiai. So from here, you kick and you land. The position of your feet is this. My right leg is forward and my left toes are slightly touching my right heel. This is the correct position of this kosadachi. When you look at it from the front, your thighs should be closed like this. And to have this closed, your left toe and your right heel has to be touching each other. So from here, make sure when you kick, you get your thighs together. Next, I'll be talking about this hand gesture. So after this, you turn to the back and you do this. What you're doing is you're getting the hand away when someone's trying to grab you, like this. So your hands has to be on the same surface like this. So make sure it's not like that. And also, just like the first movement, you want to show that you're able to generate this kime really slowly. So from here, make sure you turn the hand to the front first and slowly evade the attack. So I think a further explanation in the bunkai section. But what you want to do is from here, you take the opponent's arm and pull it against your right hip. So the arm movement is from here, you go like this. 1, 2. Next point is when you go from the kiai to this 180-degree turn, gedan barai. The point you should notice here is the root of your knee. What I mean is, from here, you want to have your knee go straight here. Don't get this around, okay? That's gonna make your spin a lot heavier and slower. So imagine you're fitting your knee right here. And you block. The next point is the crescent moon kick or the mikazuki geri. From here, we do the mikazuki geri like this. The point you should know is to kick a little close to you and rotate at the last second. So make sure your mikazuki geri don't go out here. If you kick out there, your body is going to go with it and you're going to land forward too much. So if you want to have a stable kibadachi horse stance after this kick, make sure you kick a little close to you, like here. That's good enough. And for the empi, make sure you keep your hip still, facing the front, just like the moroteuke, and rotate at the end. The next point is after this block, you do this punch. The point you should know here is to not extend your arm completely, meaning don't do this. Have it bent a little bit. Imagine you're just pulling back. So from here, your arm is bent, straight, and pull back. This movement. Next point is the jump part. This is not an ordinary jump. It's rather a sweep with your hands. So from here, pay attention to this arm. This arm goes like this. Someone's kicking you and you sweeping it up. That's the meaning of this. I'm going to be doing a how to do jump high video next in the same week as this video. So make sure you check out how to jump high in that video. But as for the meaning, make sure your arm goes here and that you're bending down. That's one of the key components to jumping high as well. At the end of the kata, we have from here this movement, right? Make sure your hip comes completely forward and your back toe faces the front. A common mistake here is people from here do this and their hip is still facing the side. So make sure your toes face a little more forward and your hip turns completely this way, like this. So for the bunkais, the first part is when you go from the moroteuke to this sequence. Let me do it fast first.
So let me explain the points for this bunkai. First, any blocks you do, if you're blocking it up, you have to go under the opponent. So when he punches here, make sure you move down and go beneath it. A bad example is, okay, like this. Then you can't attack, so make sure you go under for you to land your next attack. Second point is, after the first block, your hip faces the front, right? From here, snap this to the side and punch him in the stomach. I did it with open-handed, but you can do it with the fist, just like the kata tetsu yuji. And from here, snap your hip back to the front again and punch. And do it rhythmically. So that was the full tutorial of Heian Godan. If you'd like me to look at your kata personally, then consider subscribing to my group lesson where I can interact with you directly. Also, if you'd like to check out other Heian kata tutorials, then please check these out from Shodan to Yondan and make sure you subscribe to my channel. See you guys in the next one.